What's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. I have a great video for you guys and gals today. This is really the meat and potatoes of precious metals. And we can look at this, we can dissect this article and get a very good look, a very good idea on where prices are headed. Now, there's a lot more to influence the price nowadays, but this is one of the biggest factors. Before we jump into this, let me say something real quick. Smash that like button. If you love precious metals, smash the like button. It's extremely important to be subscribed as well, because with so many things happening, I am updating you on a daily basis. Every time you're done watching one of my videos, you came out more prepared, more more encouraged, have a lot more information, and this can apply to your stack as well, because preparedness is key. If you're not preparing, then you're setting yourself up for failure. And that's why the people that watch these videos, compared to the ones that just blindly invest, the odds, the profits are uncanny. You gotta stay educated and up to date with what's happening, and I will do that for you every single day. Now, First Majestic produces 5.2 million ounces silver equivalent in quarter 3, on track to meet guidance. And this number is so crazy because when everyone, when this pandemic hit, $11 silver in March, there was so much silver bought up from the U.S. Mint saying that there's a shortage on American Eagles. You had the Royal Canadian Mint shut down for 2 weeks. Mexico and Peru, they accumulate nearly 40% of the global silver production, cut back for several weeks. Not only that, they came back with limited workers, a limited environment. They couldn't transport the silver everywhere because of all the regulation and the travel restrictions. So it was just going to be extremely hard, especially for a metal like silver, because nobody's looking for silver. It's like what can I compare it to? It's like someone's bike got stolen, and on the seat it was your friend's blah blah blah. And so when you're looking for the bike, your friend is only caring about that, but people are looking for the bike. That's how silver is. Nobody is looking for silver. It's found by bypass. They're looking for gold, lead, or zinc, and when they find some silver, or if they find some silver on the side, they'll take it. But they're not looking for it. They're looking at stuff that's going to put money in their pockets. And think about it. Gold is 78 times more valuable than silver. So why wouldn't they look for gold, right? Wasting their time on silver is going to hurt their business. So you can understand where they're coming from, but the consequences from that is dangerous. And we're already starting to see that. I already think we're starting to see the consequences of the supply not being able to meet the demand, especially as demand rises. So that's just a little backstory on what's going on right now. So let's get some new information. Let's dive into it. In the third quarter, silver miner First Majestic Silver churned out 5.2 million silver equivalent ounces, made up of 3.2 million ounces of silver, 25,771 of gold, from its 3 underground mines in Mexico. This quarterly output represents a 72% increase in silver production, with a 63% growth in gold output over the prior year, as this production was affected by Mexico's temporary suspension, like I was just talking about, from the pandemic. So, with 14.9 million ounces of silver equivalent generated in the first 9 months of this year, 8.1 million ounces of silver and 73 of gold, First Majestic is maintaining its updated guidance of 21.4 million ounces of silver equivalent for 2020. The La Encantada mine in Cuya state in northern Mexico churned out 978,000 silver in this quarter. It's the second highest quarterly drop or output since 2014. So these people are kicking it up in gear, and you got to think technology is going to advance, especially since 2014. We're advancing so fast technologically that I think it's going to be easier to dig up gold, lead, and zinc, but there's just not going to be enough of it in the ground. There's only as much as I mean, it's not there's not an unlimited supply like with fiat currency. They're digging, but if there's no more in the dirt, they can't make silver and gold. Silver's made from a supernova explosion. They can't make this stuff. So eventually, it's going to become even more scarce. Think of the circulating supply. With silver, there's a low circulating supply because most silver is used and lost in laptops. You put silver in laptops, cell phones. Nobody's gonna scrap the silver out of it because it's not profitable. They're not gonna waste their time doing that. You'll get a couple pennies. But with gold, on the other hand, you might make a couple dollars scrapping that gold laptop. Now do you see why a lot of gold is remelted, recycled, reused? Right? People melting down their jewelry or rings or whatever. Nobody's doing that with silver because it's just not profitable. So there's a recirculating supply, a heavy, heavy recirculating supply of gold going around, but not so of silver. So the company also forged ahead with capital projects such as Santa Elena installed liquid natural gas storage tanks as First Majestic looks to switch from diesel power to liquid natural gas based power at the site by the first quarter of next year and reduce energy costs. So also within the Santa Elena holdings, the Ermintano project, 4 kilometers south of Santa Elena, with the miner completed and construction of a second portal and developed a new ramp. So it's looking like they're ramping this up. They're going off of it, which is going to be good because there is a lot of orders in, and especially this last year, it almost seemed impossible to fill, especially knowing what this pandemic did to us and how many years it pushed us back. So at San Dimas, where the silver producer is working to modernize the mill and plant, the improvements are expected to be complete in the second quarter of next year. And there we go, modernizing the mill. So next year, it looks like the innovation, the new technology is going to be kicking in. So it's also going to build up the numbers. So by the end of September 26th, rigs were active at First Majestic's holdings with 163,000 meters or meters scheduled for 2020. The company closed out the quarter with 232.4 million in cash and equivalents. In September, First Majestic closed 78 billion bought deal financing with Eric Sprott. Proceeds are intended for project development and improvements across the current operation. During the quarter, higher production rates along with the improved metal prices and the recent investment by Eric Sprott resulted in significant growth of our treasury, 232 million at the quarter end. And that, it's definitely played out that way, and you could tell it would. Numer also added that strong silver output from both the La Encantada and San Dimas were due to higher milling rates and is expected to continue into the year. Higher grades and throughputs are also anticipated at Santa Elena as additional workers are now on site. So it looks like they found a honey hole, and they're upgrading. They're going to be down there digging up a lot of gold and a lot of byproduct silver. Now, what does this mean for the market? It could be very good or very bad. If you're looking at this from a very short-term mind state, this is probably terrible news for you, because silver, a lot of what silver right now is making it profitable is because it's so scarce. But when it's so scarce, and if there's not enough silver to go around, then what's going to happen to the markets? Markets aren't always good when the prices are going high. There has to be some sell-offs. There has to be corrections. There has to be a healthy market. And if we want silver to ever take on a role like gold, there has to be more dug up. They have to focus on it more and take silver mining more serious. I think they will once the price of silver starts to rise, get some stability under it. Then they're like, okay, we'll go start digging up silver. I mean, at least it's $30, $40 now instead of just like $11 in March, right? If the prices get right for them and they start focusing on silver, then the market not only will vamp up or be able to support the demand as the demand's rising as well, but also I think it's going to be good for the market as a whole. And then we could even compare it more to gold, since the markets are going to be almost reacting off of each other. Gold will always be in a different market than silver. Silver will always be in a different market than gold. Right now they aren't, but I see going forwards, silver's industrial uses will start panning out and start, I guess, stretching it away from his older brother, which is gold. Gold is only a monetary metal used for rings, dental alloys. It's used for necklaces, anything like that. Silver, on the other hand, yeah, it's used for that stuff, but the majority of it used is in industrial stuff. Laptops, cell phones, photovoltaic cells, colloidal silver, silver nanoparticles, so many things. Electric vehicles, 5G technology, the 5G towers. So when the economy is in bad shape, people invest to safe haven, and that's your gold and silver. But when the economy's in good shape, they don't invest into gold because the dollar's doing great. But since the economy's doing great and silver's intertwined into 5G, all these things, electric vehicles, the silver part or the silver aspect still gets a huge chunk of demand. So silver benefits whether the economy's in good or bad, in a good or a bad state. And you can see why there's so much opportunity there and why it's more volatile. And I think that's only going to get that gap's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger as time goes on. And once these two metals have a completely separated factor for reliant factor on prices, then we can look and invest from a whole new point of view. The gold to silver ratio is the best tool to see which metal is the best at that time. To it tells you either gold or silver is the better metal to invest in at that time. Which one's overbought, or which one's extremely cheap, which one's extremely extremely pricey, right? And I think the ratio is only going to start going down. 125 to 1 in March, all the way down to around 78 to 1 right now. It can go a lot lower than that, and I know it will. With time, though, you got to be patient. This market isn't to get rich quick. This market is not something I better hope, or I really hope no one's in this market thinking they're going to get rich within 2-3 years, even 3-4 years, even 5 years. I'll say it. Silver stacking is a hedge against inflation. As the dollar is losing its purchasing power, silver raises its purchasing power, right? Silver over time goes up, the dollar over time goes down. So you transfer your money out of that, putting it into the time capsule, and that's a hedge. That is a hedge against inflation. And the time frame of these prices really exploding to a degree that is financially going to change your life, that's ways down the road. It's not going to happen next year, not in 2 years, not in 5 years. If you're looking at the magnitude that some people are talking about, it'd probably be around 10 years in my eyes. A lot of people say 5. A lot of people say less than that. A lot of people are calling out silver, like $75 silver by next year. And they have reasons. The 2020 presidential election is right around the corner, but I wouldn't say that. I'm not going to mislead my audience and say that's what I believe, because then people can get resentments and really get set off in the wrong direction. So anyways, if you enjoyed this video, if you thought this video was educational, informational, or at least entertaining, make sure to smash the like button. I post daily videos every single day, giving you the newest, latest, freshest, up-to-date information, so you don't have to. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.